Yeah, so we finally got our first pool dug after a 3-month drought, and then the very end of our first day when we're trying to get everything finished up, we got 3 days straight of rain, and so we ended up having to dig this swale out here. This is where we were struggling to get this pump put in as quick as possible, which we moved the well pump to a much better location now. Had to stop all this. Right here is where all the water was trying to wash out, so we had to hook these pipes up. Got everything on just in the nick of time. But now it's as dry as can be. They can finish up what they're doing. Okay, so anytime we dig real close to a house and you have a lot of chance of washout, we're always going to throw these large stakes in. We use 2x4s and pieces of plywood, and we're going to shore the wall. And as you can even see that one right there where it's pushed back a little bit, it catches any dirt that tries to sludge off, and it keeps that lower base real compact and helps protect the house from shifting and protect your foundation. We do that with any pool that we're digging within about 5 feet of the house. We're going to shore it up real nice. Little extra protection for the homeowner.
Which it might not look like much, but it does a ton.
Hey, do you have a tape measure on you?
You wanted a tape?
Yeah, I'm gonna jump in here. So this is the deep end of the pool. We always want to check our guys, make sure they're doing it right, which they do a great job. But this is going to be a 5-foot deep pool. And so what you're going to have, this being the top of the gunite structure, you have 3 inches down before you hit water. And then you're going to have 5 foot deep, and then plus another about 8 or 9 inches of structure. So we need to be 6 foot down, and we're about 6'2". So this customer is getting a few extra inches of structure, which is just better for them.
Stronger pool.
Stronger pool.
Yep.
The other thing we also do is we always want to make sure everything's square. So we'll do a 3, 5, 4, a squared, b squared, c squared equals c squared, and make sure that we triangulate every corner to make sure this pool is perfectly square. We'll also caddy corner the 2 corners, make sure those line up, just because the naked eye you can tell imperfections, and we want to make sure this customer gets a perfect square pool.
And we also, in our plans that we give the excavation company and then we come back and double check with, is we pull a corner from the foundation of the house and make a triangle off of that for the pool. And that helps triple check that you have a perfectly square and plumb pool off of your house. And then 3.
Yep. Which side are you using? Woo, that's good.
Right on the money. Alex went over it, the triangle. That's what we just did. 4 feet in, 3 feet. You take your 2 points, equals 5 feet. Perfect triangle, perfectly square. So here we're marking 4 foot. We'll mark 3 foot. Hold it on our 4 foot mark. Alex is going to the 3 foot mark.
You got it?
Yep. And we're right on the money. A spa through here. Tanning ledge with your shelves that come down.
Margarita right here.
If you can't tell,
we got the mics.
Let us know how it sounds.
As you can also see, these no-see-ums must live in the ground because they're just tearing us up here.
Well, you guys will see tomorrow. We'll get some footage. There'll be a whole crew of people here. A lot's going to happen. It's really cool. It's really awesome to watch. And it's going to look super good when it's done.
Super nice, super awesome.
This customer is going to be super stoked. I don't know if you guys can see this pipe that makes a U in the deep end of the pool. Those are our well points. So here in Florida, you hit groundwater at about, we hit it, was it 4 feet when we hit it?
Yeah, 3.5, 4 feet.
Yeah, it's about 3.5, 4 feet when we hit groundwater. So you have to put we have 14 well points around the deep end here. And basically it's a corrugated pipe that goes a few feet in the ground, and all the water goes into that, and it comes to this pump here. And then it gets pumped out into the preserve. And this pump has to run 24/7 from when we hit that 3.5, 4 foot mark. And that pump will run until we gunite the pool. Once we gunite the pool, we can turn it off and we'll leave a little hole in the gunite and the water will seep back through the pool. So I wanted to show you guys those 14 well points I was explaining in the bottom of the pool. This is the pipe that gets put underground. A cap gets glued on the bottom of this. And I don't know if you guys can see it. There's a bunch of super tiny slits in this pipe. And basically what it does is it allows the water to seep into the pipe and no debris to get in there. So we have a pump on the end of it, everything's plumbed together, and that pump creates a suction, and that water comes through here, and then that's how we're able to pump it all out and keep this pool dry. You'll see what it looked like when it wasn't dry and I was waist deep in the water.
I was not waist deep in the water.
He watched me get waist deep in the water. He was helping. We had to plumb it up. It was the weekend. We let our guys take the weekend off, so when duty calls, we show up when we need to get something done. We wanted to make sure it was nice and dry for them today so they could re-excavate what they needed to and then, get this all framed up.
So every pool, when they frame out, this is the top of beam, which is the top of the gunite concrete structure of the pool. So they'll frame out the whole pool, then they'll come back. Tomorrow they're going to do all the Steel Tech PVC, and then they're going to come through and do the actual steel grid inside of the pool and form it up. And then that's what they shoot. That Steel Tech is a mesh with a construction mesh with a metal wiring in it that they shoot the gunite up against. That's what's going to hold the form, since we have to over dig to do the well points in Florida. Pool is coming together. Yep. That's the prettiest part. It's when you can actually see everything coming to fruition. That's my favorite part, is gunite.
Yep. And this one was nice. We have an empty lot next door, so we're able to keep a little bit of dirt for when we backfill. Normally, all that dirt gets hauled out, but since it's an empty lot, the builder was nice enough to let us put it here. Real quick, this side too, downspouts running all the way out.
If you look at where those downspouts are, this is something that a good builder is going to do this. You need to make sure it's something we do on every pool. Any downspouts, they're just going to dump water into the pool. That could cause more caving in, more of that wall slushing over. And so we hook everything up to downspouts, and this takes it all away from the pool. It helps preserve what we've dug and doesn't further damage or cause more backfilling issues.